Hello, welcome to Designed for Recovery, where we delve into the profound intersection of healthcare and design, and how the environment we create can influence the healing, dignity, and human connection. I am your host, Lowo Adeyemi, and today we are engaging with one of the profound and sensitive topics in healthcare design, the end of life care. And we will investigate how environments can either alleviate or exacerbate the experience of dying for patients, families, and caregivers alike. I wish to acknowledge from the onset that this is an intensely emotional subject. It is deeply personal. Many of us have traversed this path with a loved one. Some may currently be navigating it, while for others, it may seem a distant concern. But none of us remain untouched by it. So, let's take a moment, draw a deep breath, and commence. Death is not an aberration. It is an integral facet of human experience. Yet, when we examine the design of numerous healthcare environments, it can appear as though we are denying this reality, perceiving death as a medical failure rather than a meaningful sacred transition. Hospitals frequently serve as a backdrop for this final chapter. While they are indispensable for acute care, they can often be profoundly disorienting for individuals approaching the end of life. Harsh lighting, incessant noise, medical apparatus, and impersonal layouts. These components, while functionally necessary in certain contexts, are ill-equipped to address the emotional and spiritual needs of dying patients. So, what embodies dignity in design? In its most profound essence, it signifies the acknowledgement that end of life warrants as much care, beauty, and intention as its commencement. Just as we meticulously design spaces for childbirth, we must also thoughtfully consider the environment where life gently concludes. Let's take a moment to broaden our perspectives. Hospice care transcends mere medical service. It embodies a profound philosophy. It emphasizes comfort over cure, presence over procedure, and individual over the patient. The paradigm shift is remarkably transformative. However, the prevailing challenges lies in the fact that most built environments do not embody this evolution. They remain ensnared in clinical conventions, prioritizing efficiency at the expense of emotional well-being. Designers are presented with a unique opportunity in this context. We possess the ability to translate the ethos of hospice care into tangible spaces. We can craft environments that foster tranquility, where families can forge meaningful connections, and where emphasis is placed on quality of life rather than mere longevity. Let us now dive into some fundamental principles that can steer us in the design of hospice and palliative care environments. The first on my list is comfort and familiarity. The aspiration is not to render these spaces reminiscent of hospitals, but rather to evoke the essence of home. This entails gentle lighting that emulates natural rhythm, plush upholstered furnitures, inviting texture materials, wood, organic fibers, and soft fabrics. And the area of control, personalization, where we allow patients to introduce photographs, artworks, or even their cherished blankets. Even the most modest touches, such as aromas of freshly brewed coffee in a family kitchen area, can significantly transform the emotional balance. Second on my list is the aspect of privacy and autonomy. Individuals approaching the end of life frequently experience a profound loss of control, restoring even the most minor choices pertaining to when to rest, which music to enjoy, and who may enter their sanctum can be profoundly empowering. Private rooms with ensuite bathrooms are indispensable. No one should be compelled to share such an intimate experience with a stranger in the adjacent bed. Autonomy, most of the time, is synonymous to dignity. The third on my list is connection to nature. Nature possesses a soothing, grounding influence. Whether it is a vista of a garden, the opportunity to sit beside a window, or a courtyard meticulously designed for a quiet contemplation. Integrating nature into these spaces aids in alleviating stress and cultivating tranquility. Some hospices incorporate seasonal gardens or sensory pathways that patients and families can release together. Others utilize skylights, biophilic design to connect even bed-bound or bedridden patients to the rhythm of the heart. The fourth on my list is a space for families and grief. End of life can transcend the individual patient. It encompasses those who hold them dear to their heart. Therefore, design should encompass family lounges, sleeping quarters, kitchens, meditation rooms, or even child-friendly areas. These spaces acknowledges that grief is a communal experience, not merely an individual one. We must also contemplate transitional spaces. A family may require a moment of solitude following a loss before re-entering the public sphere. Where can they retreat? Where can they pause, grieve, or simply exist? And the fifth, which is the final on this list, is the case of cultural and spiritual respect. Design should honor the myriad cultural and spiritual rituals associated with death. This may entail a designated room for prayer and quiet reflection, versatile spaces that accommodate smudging, chatting, or other sacred practices, neutral design that permits personalization in accordance with diverse belief systems. Death is not a universal experience. Consequently, design should not conform to a singular standard. On this segment, let's explore a few instances where this concept has been actualized. The number one example is the Zen Hospice project in San Francisco, later known as the Zen Caregiving Project. This modest six-bed residential hospice harmoniously fused palliative care with Zen Buddhist principles. The rooms were suffused with natural light, and the entire environment fosters contemplation, presence, and aesthetics appreciation. Regrettably, the center ceased operation in 2018 due to financial constraint, but its legacy endures as a paragon of soul-centered care. The second example is the Rowcroft Hospice in D4R, United Kingdom. This hospice integrates landscape gardens throughout its campus. Patients can find solace beneath trees enveloped by blossoms, with their families and pets in close proximity. It transcends mere medicalization. It is about embracing meaningful existence, even in one's final days. And the last example is the Maggie's Center. Although it is not specifically end-of-life facility, Maggie's Center provides support for individuals battling cancer through exclusively designed, human-centered environments. The approach exemplifies the possibility that arises when architecture is guided by empathy. These examples serve as poignant reminders that beautiful design is not merely a luxury, it is an essential instrument for care. So, what conclusion can we draw from this? Whether you're an architect, a nurse, a policy maker, or a caregiver, or simply someone who has experienced love and loss, understand this: you possess a vital role to play. Advocate for an environment that approaches dying with the same passion we extend to birth. Demand more from our healthcare setting, not an increase in machine, but a greater emphasis on meaning. And if you are involved in the design or influence these spaces, bear in mind, every curvature, every texture, every sound, every scent conveys a message. Let that message resonate. You are safe. You are cherished. You are not alone. Thank you for dedicating your time to join me on Design for Recovery. If today's episode resonated with you, I encourage you to share it with your team, your students, your colleagues. These are crucial conversations that we ought to engage in, not merely at the end of life, but throughout its entirety. You can discover additional episodes, resources through the link provided at the show notes. And I will always welcome your insights, narratives, and reflection. Until when we meet again, remain grounded, remain compassionate, and remember every moment presents an opportunity for healing. I am Lowo Adeyemi. Bye for now.